Checking the mic, 5x5. Checking the mic again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic sounds good. Mic sounds great. Mic sounds great even. Alright, so good evening, welcome to the stream. This is my second episode of basically an attempt to try to manually program the MCDU in an Airbus A320. Last episode I think was 2 weeks ago already, but basically I followed along a YouTube video by a user named A320 Sim Pilot, and he's a real world A320 pilot, and he goes through the process of programming the flight plan into the MCDU, and that's something that I would like to be able to do. So I was kind of following along and basically making a Google Doc which goes through it step by step, just so I can recreate that process in the future. So without further ado, I will get back into that. The first thing I do need to do is get a flight plan again, and to do that, he recommended a website called simbrief.com, and it's not for anything real world, but it does allow you to basically create your own flight plan, which is pretty cool. And I don't even remember how I did it. Maybe it was just... where did it go? Detailed flight planning? No, I don't think that was it. I would have thought there would be a big button that just said, like, make flight plan here or something. Here we go. Okay, so I don't really care about a lot of this stuff. I will get the right plane though, because I think that does matter, possibly. I will put in my tail number, climb profile, don't know what it is. Don't know what any of this stuff is. Don't know what fuel factor is. Yeah, just really don't know what any of this is, so that is fine. Optional stuff I'm not going to worry about. Ooh, Sky Vector. Huh, interesting. Oops, not that. Okay. How did I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. You have to generate it. Oh, I didn't enter the airports, obviously. Yes, KDEN to KSLC. There we are. There we go. And then you can generate it. Generate it, so right, previously generated. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm not quite sure about this is, like, does it assign you with your actual runways and with your SID and your star? It does not. So that would not be known to me. And it looks like it doesn't actually, yeah, it doesn't do your star either. I wonder, I wonder if I missed something, because there's the routing. Yeah, that's interesting. So here's how you can file it to your either a VATSIM or Pilot Edge. That's good to know. I'd really like to do that eventually. So that is interesting. So maybe, because what really threw me last time, I kind of messed around with this, but it brings you all the way up here to some random location that's way past where the airport is. And I'm not sure why it did that exactly. And I kind of wish there was a way to make it not do that. What is that? RROYY? I don't know why it's doing that. Because the last waypoint up here is Leahy, so it's like there must be a way to put in a star, because I think that must be a star. I don't understand. Let's see. Flight number, aircraft type. These are aircraft options. These are optional entries. Taxi. Ah, here we go. I did not notice the runways last time. So I think what I want to do is depart. I don't know, does it tell you 80 degrees at 4 knots? That's what the wind is doing. So that would be kind of that way. And here's a guy over here. That kind of indicates to me that my departing runway is going to be 8. So let me go ahead and put in runway 8. Select new SID stars. Yes, please. That'd be great. I would love to know what my SID is. And then I'll come over to KSLC. And unfortunately, I think that means I'm going to have to be circling around the city to get on my landing runway. I think I'll go for 16 left today. Yeah, let's do 16 left. Taxi out, taxi in. I'm not actually sure what, is this a time? 8. Yeah, that must be a time. It's all fine. Okay. So now that that's updated, I should be able to regenerate my flight plan. And let's see what it looks like now. Nope, that's still pretty messed up. I don't know why it does that. Let's see what my departure... Yeah, there's no... Hold up. Does it list a SID and star in here somewhere? That's... Actually, I don't know. How do I read this flight plan? Yeah, that's about my level. Oh man, that is so helpful. Okay, that is just so amazing. And this, oh, hold on, this is not my actual flight plan, is it? Ah, that's too bad. I thought this was gonna be my actual one. Okay, well, let me get down to my routing and just focus on that, because that's really what I want to be, what I want to know. Wow, that is quite a flight plan there. That's cool. I'm not even sure I saw the route. Oh my gosh, is this it? Yeah, I think that's it right here. No, here it is. Here's the routing. Okay, so it literally says routing before it, which that helps quite a bit. Routing. Okay. I'm still very confused by why I go from... Well, hold on, this still doesn't give me my star, though. Oh, here it is, star. Ski E1. I don't know what this... Coho 4? Let me just see what that looks like. Ski. I was doing this one. So, and by the way, just to mention, I'm not going to necessarily fly this tonight. I'm just going to go for a while. If I get far enough, you know, maybe I'll think about it, but I think I'm going to take so long stumbling through this SKII-1 that I'm not going to end up actually getting off the ground. Well, the approach is 16 left, but there is no SKII-1. I think I ran into the same problem last time, actually. I did say my star, right? Standard terminal approach route. Okay, maybe I'll see if there's a Coho 4. I mean, there's the skis, but that's not SKII. There's no skis or Coho. It's confusing. What the heck? I'm confused. Arrival runway, 16 left. Well, clearly that's the active runway. Look at all these flights. I mean, it looks like all of these are basically coming in and circling around. Wow, look at that. They're all lined up. SkyWest. Delta. That's cool. SkyWest, UPS. It's their push time, apparently. Man, I just don't understand why I don't have the right star. Well, hold up, that looks like that's what all these planes are doing. That's a Leahy 5 to 16 left, but that's not what I had. I mean, that's what the map looks like, I should say. Ski E1 arrival. KOHOE 4 arrival. I don't understand that. I really don't understand it. Nor do I understand why there's this RROYY in here. Let's see what the SID says. Fairfield 9 departure. That's not anything, is it? Hold on. Hold on. I think these are showing me all of the possible departures. I mean, this shows like yeah, Denver 2, Rockies 5. So this is just listing all of the departure, I think. EEONS, Eons 7. Let me see if that's one. It is. Okay. So that doesn't, so it's not really giving me my departure, I don't think. I think basically what I'm kind of thinking is going on here. I really wish I had an expert in the room on this, but what I think is going on is you don't actually when you file a flight plan, you don't actually get your SID and your star, because that's going to be determined by air traffic control, maybe, I think. I would really love to figure that out, because it's definitely not here. It definitely just lists basically your options. So there's a ski one, or there's a Coho 4, but I don't even have those options. So I'm going to do this one because that's what all these other planes basically seem to be following. Something like this. Maybe if I go to that other website, what was that one called? SkyVector. I wonder if that shows. Here they are. So here's all the stars, and I was doing Leahy 5, I think. Yeah, Leahy 5 to 16 left. And it's sideways, which is not super convenient, but yeah. Basically. Where's my map? Oops, not this. Hold up. Where am I? Here. No, let me go here. This is easier. So basically, Leahy is right here near Provo, and that's right here. And so I have, so this is if you want to come in on, well, from here, I guess. But what I'm really doing is going up to FFU, Drive, Pit, Magne, That's Quipa. And then to that Roy. And then there's some crazy stuff going on in here that I think is saying... I think that's telling you how to come back around, maybe? Wiki 5. I don't know. Oh. This one looks like it makes more sense, though. There's FFU. Maybe I should try Skis 5. I wonder what that looks like. Skis 5 to 16 left. Is not an option, apparently. Okay. Oh, here, it's up here. Let's see what that... Nope. See, that's taking me all the way up there. I'm not totally convinced that's even right, though, because when you look on this chart, it very clearly says Fairfield. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's if you just want to go by, I guess. So that's why it's bringing me way off course. So basically I definitely want to go with the Leahy 5, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open that and keep that open. And I'll leave this page open just because I'm going to need the airport charts eventually anyway. As far as departure goes, once again, it doesn't really tell me anything, so come over to SkyVector, just go back, zoom over to Denver. And let's see, I'll go down to star charts and departures. So I need something from, well, okay, I guess what I do is I come here and I look at my looking for the wrong thing. I need to look for the SID. Someday I should really just sit here and read through all of this, to be honest. I think that would help a lot. What the heck? Did I miss it? Oh, that's why. I'm on the wrong one. Okay. Whoa, there's two. Sid. And Sid. I don't know why there's two. Well, got a lot of options here. This one's at the top, so I'm gonna go for the Rockies 5. Wait, I meant to be taking off from runway 8 though. That doesn't really look right. But that's one of the ones on here. But I'm not sure that's really how it works. I just don't know. I wish I knew where this was supposed to come from. Like if that was part of your flight plan, or if you were supposed to get that from something else. I feel like all the ones that have an 08 are the ones that are supposed to be like coming off of runway 8. That's what I don't understand. That one doesn't make any sense, obviously. I'm literally just clicking through to find one that seems like it makes any sense. There's a bunch of Star Wars references in here. I wonder what that's all about. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how to use this. Well, this one seems to make some sense. Maybe I'll do that. DDR... DDRF. Maybe that's Darth. That's pretty much the best option, it seems like. Alright, so that'll be my crazy, weird, circuitous route. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Just so I can reload it if I want. Basically all I have to remember is Darth 108, and Leahy 5. So, with that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to leave my departure runway as 8 and hop into the plane and see if I can roll through with this flight plan. So this is the document that I started creating last time. Like I said, it just kind of basically gets your MCDU programmed. These step-by-steps. Yeah, here we go. I had the same question last time. How do you select a star? Is it from the sim brief? Are they from the sim brief? I'm quite sure that you would file a SID and star in your flight plan, and then if you had to, you could change it. Like if the controller asked you to change it, you could do that. But yeah, I'm just not sure how to pick one. So yeah, you basically enter your from to airports, or actually you check the database dates, enter a flight number, input the alternate airport. I don't remember if that even works. Excuse me. Flight level is 360, I believe. I believe that's what this means. So let's get into it. It's a little sluggish just for the sake of the stream. I would love to get... I want a new GPU so badly, but just for the sake of the stream, at least to start, I'm going to keep it on low end just to keep things running smoothly. Okay, so here we go. We come down to the MCDU. We start on this screen. We're just checking that we are within these dates, and so March 25 through April 21 of 2021, we sure are. We have a backup database, so that is all good. That is the D in DISRIP. Diff SRIP. It's hard to say. So, then we go to init A, and we type in our airports. We're going KDEN to KSLC, KSLC, and we populate that. So there we go. Okay, flight number, where is that? Hit return. Company route, there is no company route, there is no alternative company route, flight number. Just gonna go with something random. What did I do last time? I think I did like top. $649 maybe, something like that, just to fizzle. Cost index, 320 sim pilot said 17. I don't even remember what that does, to be honest. The flight level is, what did we say it was? 360. And why are there, is it 36,000 maybe? FL360, that was smart of it to correct, and it auto-populated the temperature, which is perfect. Okay, so there's that. Flight level, temperature auto-populates. Now go to the flight plan page here. And so we have KDEN, decel point, and a KSLC. So we need to do the departure runway and SID. So we'll have you select the airport, and then you oh, here, the departure. We're departing from 08. And, what was it? It was this Dearth 1. Ooh. Departures from KDEN. What? Okay, oh, so I'm done now. Now I just have to hit insert. And that inserts it into the flight plan. Okay, so that's fine. Let me just see how that looks. I just wanted to try to see if this would work. No, I need to go to the plan mode, and then I can scroll through it, I believe. So it swings up, and then I don't have anything else in there. Okay, so that's fine. So I got that. Now I need to input my airways and waypoints. So the way I do that, that I might need to go back to the video and reference. So I'm on flight plan, and then I think what you do is you go to the one you're leaving from. Is that how you do it? Yeah, LatRev from Darth. And so what I need here is to go to my route. So I think foot 4 maybe? Is that an airway? I'm not actually sure. Go back and look at this real quick. Honestly, I'm not really sure what an airway even is. Maybe I'll just go to airways. No. Let me see what happens when I type that in. Is that it? Foot 4? 3 O's. That's weird. And then I just put it here? Is that what it is? Okay, it is. So basically it's yellow, it's saying, is this what you're trying to do? So I say yes. Insert it. So now I'm going from Darth to foot. Apparently. But what is foot? I don't understand what that is. So it goes Darth down to, it's actually going to a VOR called foot. But I don't have that on here anywhere. So I'm like very confused why. Hold up. Foot 4 is an airway. Interesting. So my route. So you can have, oh my gosh, what's the difference? I don't know this. What is an airway? Okay, so it's a route, a defined corridor between waypoints. Okay. So foot is not the waypoint, basically. I think I can clear it by doing that. Okay, so now it's gone. Nope, it's still there. What the heck? Insert, erase. Okay, so now it's gone. So I think maybe what it's saying is from Dearth. Oh, to Dearth. So I think it's via Dearth. You want to go foot 4, maybe? It's not in the database. That doesn't make any sense. I'm confused. Let me, I'm gonna go back to this video, try to see if I can make sense of that, because that's kind of a critical thing, I think.
But there we go. We do what we can. That's in it beeping.
This is what I want on tape. Soleil not smiling.
As a teenager, I carried a camera with me everywhere I went.
Page done. Finally, P for performance. I use, but it does require a subscription. And it's totally blank. We've got from EHAM to LIRF and decel points, nothing else in there. So how are we going to load in our flight plan? Well, to start off with, we need to know the departure we want to use. Again, SimBrief will tell you this, but you can load it in on the Flight Simulator homepage. When you're setting up the flight, if you simply select the sort of airways you want to use, so high altitude airways, for example, for this sort of flight, and then you can choose the SID and start in there. Once you have selected it, you will see it drawn on the map, and hopefully it will connect to your flight plan. This is where SimBrief is really useful because it will automatically connect the route. So your SID and your star, your SID is your departure, your star is your arrival, as you can see here, selecting a VOR arrival and then a star. They'll tie up if you use SimBrief because it will choose the right star for the waypoints on your flight plan. But what I'm going to do is enter it from my SimBrief generated flight plan. So that says I'm going via Rendi. So select the airports that you're departing from. So press flight plan once to get to this page. Select next to that airport. So that's this key up here, and then it takes you to this one, lateral revision from EHAM. But we want to put in our departure, so let's put departure. And today I think I'm departing from runway 24. Now, if you're not sure about this, you can use air traffic control, which will give you clearances, and that's how you normally find out in real life. It would just depend on what runway that airport is using, depending on the wind and so on. You want to take off into a headwind, so that would be the main sort of criteria. But if I put in runway 24, and then I'm looking for the SID that matches up to my flight plan. So that is the Rendi 1 Sierra. So
I wish it had shown how you actually see that.
And there you go. I've got runway 24 with my SID, and there's no transition available on this, so that's fine. If I click these arrows, it just lets me re-choose. So if you want to change your mind, I could go in and choose another runway like 09 and then fiddle with it. But I'm happy with 24, so let's go back to runway 24 and Rendi 1 Sierra. And insert. Now you'd normally check that against your chart, but as we don't have that today, let's see if I can go back here. Or you may not have it at home. If you want to use Navigraph, you can, and that's what I use, but it does require a subscription. What we can do is just check that this looks roughly sensible. So I know I'm going southeast down to Rome. So if I go to plan up here, press constraint, and I've got this, which is the range set to 10. Now I can just scroll through the waypoints in here with that little arrow, and it flies along, and it shows me on this screen where the airplane will go. So that all looks pretty good, and that's going to take me out to that waypoint at Dupo. Okay, great. So a Dupo, my SimBrief agrees. So from a Dupo, I'm going to take an airway. The airway is Zulu 739. So again, select that point that you're going to fiddle with.
Okay. So maybe foot 4 is actually my departure. And maybe Leahy 5 is maybe this is my SID and this is my star. Is that why they're so long? I might be onto something here. Hold up. This is Salt Lake. Denver. EF. There is no foot. Oops, hold up. These are departure procedure. These are stars. No, I don't see any foot 4. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if that is an option though. Back up here, go to KDEN. Go to my departure. I said it was 8. And just to check, is there a foot? There is not. There's no foot 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. F-O-O-T. 4. F-O-O-O-T4. F-O-O-O-T4. I'm beginning to think that the way this works is SIDS and stars are 6 decimals and VORs are 3. I think that's what I'm interpreting here.
Denver Tower, Skywest 4668, ready for ISR departure runway 8. Skywest 4668, hold short runway 8. Traffic is Airbus A320 in on the runway. Hold short runway 8, Skywest 4668.
Sorry, SkyWest, you're gonna be waiting a while. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. So I don't know. I'm pretty much at a loss here. Kind of suspecting. Airways from KDEN to Darth. Did that do anything? That was what it was before. Huh. I don't know, man. I'm a bit at a loss here. It's definitely what he's doing, so maybe there's honestly a problem with Flight Sim. That foot is just not loaded in here. You know what I really should do is do this exact flight that he's doing. And see if it gives me the same stuff. Also, it's kind of weird how the screens are a different color. I'm not really sure why that is. But regardless, the next step is to put in the rest of the waypoints, which I'm just going to go ahead and do. I'm just going to clear out foot, because there's obviously something weird going on there. I just don't know what to do about it. How do you clear it, though? I thought you were supposed to just click the clear button and then hit it. Oops. Crazy cat back there. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, you have to press insert even though you're deleting it. That always confuses me. Okay, so here I am. And the way you insert your next leg is you go to, I think, you go to lat rev from. I think you put it in up there. Let's see that again.
Nah. plan up here, 739, Zulu 73. If I go to plan up here, rest constraint, and I've got this which is the range set to 10. Now I can just scroll through the waypoints in here with that little arrow and it flies along and it shows me on this screen where the airplane will go. So that all looks pretty good. And that's going to take me out to that waypoint at Dupo. Okay, great. So a Dupo. My sim brief agrees. So from a Dupo, I'm going to take an airway. The airway is Zulu 739. So again, select that point that you're going to fiddle with.
How does he know that's an airway? Does he know that because it's 3 letters? Is that what... I don't know. I don't think so. Because it's right here. It says foot 4 is the airway. The VOR is RLG. I don't understand. Or wait, maybe the actual, maybe a waypoint is different from a VOR. Maybe the waypoint is a Dupo and there aren't any waypoints in my flight plan. Well, regardless, regardless, look at this growing boy. Easy. Still pretty antisocial. 100% menace though. I mean, for real. Okay, I gotta focus here.
The route from a Dupo and now select airway.
So basically, what I need to do, yeah, I clicked on my DDRTH. I'm selecting an airway, and my airway is RLG.
So it goes to a Dupo, and now I'm going to join the airway Zulu 739. Zulu 739. Put that there, and I'm going to take that airway up until the point MISGO. M-I-S-G. I'm going to join the airway Zulu 739. Zulu 739.
So I don't have an... Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet I'm taking 3 airways in a row. Airway, airway, airway. And don't have any waypoints, I guess. And then I just start the Leahy 5. Let me just try something. What I think I need to do here. Oops, I already typed it in. RLG. Boom. Not in database. Great.
Put that there. And I'm going to take that airway up until the point MISGO. M-I.
Wait a second, why is there a penny waypoint in here? Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet penny is the termination of that foot 4, which I don't have. And I can't take the RLG airway from Darth, because I need to get to penny. So...
I-S-G-O.
So I'm going to omit.
And insert that there. So now the airways go in the left and then the 2 waypoints, so the where you come off that airway goes in the right. So from MISGO, I'm going direct to Charlie Oscar Lima. So for that I can go back here, MISGO, and now I can type it into this page directly. For example, if you're not using airways. So Flight Simulator may, if you use Flight Simulator to generate your routes, it doesn't always show you the airways, it just...
I bet that's it. So basically I'm going to have to kind of cheat the system and jump over to PENEY. Okay. So I'm going to go from Darth to Penny. And I pretty much am guessing there's... Oh. I've been hearing this bass sound. I didn't realize the window was open. So Darth, and that's going to go down to Penny. It's going to be super crazy, I bet. Yeah, that looks terrible, but I don't have that foot 4 thing, so there's not much I can do about it. Okay, so now, for Penny, I can take the airway RLG. I get this now. It's all coming together. Airways, RLG, not in database. Airways from Penny, hold up, what?
To that waypoint at Dupo. Okay, great. So a Dupo. My sim brief agrees. So from a Dupo, I'm going to take an airway. The airway is Zulu 739. So again, select that point that you're going to fiddle with
Lat
the route
rev
from.
From a Dupo, lat rev, or airway from Penny. Hold on.
A Dupo, and now select airway.
Airway from.
So it goes to a Dupo, and now I'm going to join the airway Zulu 739. Zulu 7.
From a Dupo to a Dupo? What? Oh, do I need to go? I'm so confused. From Penny. Do I need to go to Penny first or something? Why does it say to Darth up here?
Three, 9. Put that there. And I'm going to take that airway up until the point MISGO. M-I-S-G-O. And insert that there. So now the airways go in the left, and then the two-way point, so the where you come off that airway goes in the right. So from MISGO, I'm going direct to Charlie Oscar Lima. So for that, I can go back here, MISGO, and now I can type it into this page directly. For example, if you're not using airways.
I'm like so confused right now. Oh god. Airways from Penny. Airways from Darth. Why does it say Darth when I click on Penny? Can I just add RLG? Anywhere? It said airways go on the left. What if I just try DCT instead? Airway is foot 4 here, so maybe it'll work now. So it's from Penny via... Oh. I see what it's saying now. So I'm going... This is the whole flight plan. It's showing me the whole thing right here. I don't have a Penny up here, so I need to get Penny in here. But how did he had a way of doing that is not...
So Flight Simulator may, if you use Flight Simulator MSGO, so MSGO is this key in the right. So from MSGO, I'm going direct to Charlie Oscar Lima. So for that, I can go back here, MSGO, and now I can type it into this page directly. For example, if you're not using Airways. So Flight Simulator may, if you use Flight Simulator to generate your routes, it doesn't always show you the airways, it just gives you all the waypoints. So if you'd like to tune those in one by one, you can. It's more time consuming, but to do that, I simply type it in. So Charlie Oscar Lima, and it's going to go below MSGO. So MSGO is this key here. Let me take you back to the correct view, which will hopefully make that more simple. So MSGO's there, so I'm going to select it there. Now normally it would let me put it in, but for some reason this...
Okay. Let me try RLG again. Okay, hold up. I don't know what that V8 means, but at least it lets me put it in now. So I go Penny. Okay.
Tower, generic Foxtrot, Tango 410 ready for IFR departure runway 8. Generic Foxtrot, Tango 410 hold short runway 8. Traffic is Airbus A320 in on the runway.
I guess the Southwest plane gave up.
Hold short runway 8, generic 410.
Okay, well, now I have at least Darth V8 RLG. I don't know why Penny's not showing up in there, to be honest. But at least now I can get these other waypoints in here. Oh, TOC just means top of climb. Kremling, not sure what that means. It's a VOR. Oh, a waypoint is just a place in your flight, I guess. Maybe. I'm confused about that. Well, regardless, EKR is my next thing. So maybe I go here, Airways. Yeah, that's not there either. I feel like there's something basic that I'm missing about that. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more studying on this. But I made some progress. At least I know how to insert these airways. RLG to where did it go? I thought I just put it in there. It looked like it was gonna work. EK. Oh, it's DCT is the next one I'm on. RLG. It's not letting me do it now. Great. DCT. Can I do it from the screen, I wonder? Whoa, where did Noten come from? I didn't put that in. I have no idea where that came from. now I can't get rid of it. I swear I just did the same thing twice and it erased it one time but not the other. So DCT, that's where I need to be going. DCT, insert. So I'm going RLG, no. So it inserts it below where you click? No. DCT. So it needs to go after RLG. So I'll do it here. There we go. No, not doctors. What the heck? Why did it... It's just DCT. So, okay. So is that an airway from RLG? Is that what I'm figuring out? That's not in the database. Direct to doctors apparently, but that's going to be in some random location, I'm sure.
Denver Tower, United 577, ready to go runway 8 ISR to Spokane.
Yeah, that's some waypoint a million miles away.
Traffic is Airbus A320 in on the runway.
Okay, so apparently I just can't use DCT.
Hold short runway.
I guess I'll try EKR, see if I can get that in here somehow. There's two VORs here. Yeah, EK, I want that one, obviously. So it goes there, and that's not too far away, so yes, that looks good, I think. Let's see how that looks. Yep, popped in right there. That's right where it should be. And then I'm on my Leahy 5, basically. I don't know why my route is not showing all these other waypoints. Seems like those would be important, and they're not part of the Leahy 5. So I don't understand, really. Or did I not put in my... I don't think I put in the approach yet. Hold up. That would be a problem. Destination. Why are there two of these, I wonder? Not sure it matters. The arrival. Oops, the arrival. My arrival was on 16 left, and it was using Leahy 5. Perfect. There. Okay, so now let's take another glance at my flight plan. And I just can't do anything about that random hook thing here at the beginning. But we'll see what happens. So I'm going to hook up and around, go up to that crazy Darth point, swoop on down to Penny. That one, that one. Just trying to see. So it goes from EKR to, oh, it looks like it is actually working. EKR to Racer to MTU Thistle, MTU Thistle Spain. So all that stuff was part of the star, and then onto the Leahy, FFU, drive, yep. So let me just check that. I think it's all going to be fine, but Leahy, FFU, drive, Pitt, Mang, and Roy. Pitt, Mang, and Quipa. What the heck? Oh! It actually added a ton in there. Why aren't... Oh, because it knows where the star is. Better than... because SimBrief doesn't actually know your stars, I don't think. Whereas when I go here, I bet all these will be on here. Leahy 5 arrival. They're not. It was Pitt, Main, Quipa, to Proxy. Is there like a second page to this, I wonder? Leahy 5. No, that's it. Hold up. I know what it is. It's because that's only part of the story. I get to Leahy 5, and then I'm ILS to 16 left. And this is going to give me the rest of those waypoints. So Leahy 5, Weber, Iron, Toomey, Lagoon. This one says OGD. I didn't see that. Oh, here it is, Ogden, OGD. So it should be Weber, OGD, Iron, Toomey, Lagoon. Yep.
Denver Tower, SkyWest, 4713 ready to go runway, 8 ISR to Rapid City.
Toomey, Lagoon. Yep. Runway.
4713 hold short runway 8.
So there it is.
Traffic is Airbus A320 in on the runway.
I think that is my flight plan. I wish I could make this flight tonight, but you know, now that I got it all loaded up.
Hold short runway 8 SkyWest 4713.
I'm gonna actually let me try to blast through these two. Secondary flight plan. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? No, I have to do the performance page for the takeoff, so I can't do that. So secondary flight plan is not functional in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I could look up my ILS frequency on RadNav. So basically I'm just skipping a couple letters here. Secondary flight plan is, it doesn't say an op, but it is. RadNav, we got F1 and F2 is 890.0. So let me just check something right here. This is my 16 left approach, and localizer. I always have trouble reading these. It says 109.5 for the localizer. So I think I'm 109.5. And that goes up here. why, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to put it on both sides.
Simulated. I know 783s on this VOR and then turn left onto a radial thing. Choose what it thinks is necessary. 783, so we can check that roughly against the flight plan we loaded
320
to make sure it's sensible. And in real life, we would check these things definitely to make sure it's roughly accurate, or should I say accurate. Okay, so that is the flight plan. Now we have S for secondary flight plan, where we can load up another of these, which you might be able to use if there's a change of runway, something like that. Sadly, it does not work in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Airbus, the default Airbus, so we can't use it today. Next will be radio nav, so rad nav here. Now you can see it's already tuned the ILS at the other end. That's into
Oh, there it is. I didn't even notice that.
Rome, the ILS 34 right. But you might want to tune in a VOR here for your departure. Depends on your chart. Now these days, a lot of these departures are RNAV, so you wouldn't bother because it would automatically tune what it thinks is necessary. And RNAV waypoints are based on their points in space, so they need GPS effectively or some sort of high accurate navigation. This is more for if you're flying a conventional departure where you need to use a VOR. So for example, around Amsterdam there is a VOR called the Sierra Papa Lima. Now a VOR is a navigation aid. I can type that in. Oh no, it doesn't let me do it that way. / Sierra Papa Lima. Oh, it doesn't even let me do that. That's normally how you can type it in. So it wants the frequency. So I'm going to leave it as automatically tuning because it's an RNAV SID anyway.
Okay, well...
But that's what you might choose to put in there. Or maybe an NDB.
So it shouldn't matter because I have the ILS frequency in here, but I also put it in here. I guess maybe that's kind of an override
If you were using one of those. So for example, a departure that said climb straight ahead to 6 miles on this VOR and then turn left onto a radial, things like that. Slightly more advanced navigation stuff in terms of piloting. Now we've done radio nav. The next page we're going to look at is init B. So again, press init, and as I said earlier, you press this little arrow. Either one will get you between the two pages, and now we're on to init B. For this page, hopefully it's set up about right, really. You need to know the balance and performance of your aeroplane. You can check your weight in here, it gives you an idea, but it doesn't really show you the CG or so on, so you need to have seen that from before you loaded up the flight, really, which is a bit of a nuisance. What you can do is, if you know what your CG is from having loaded up the flight earlier, and I'll show you how to do that now. So on the aircraft page, when you're setting up your flight, you'll be able to see a weight and pounds section. In here you can set it to pounds because we always load fuel in weights really. I don't know why it'd be in gallons. And you can see over here the Mach. So this is the CG number. So here in this case you can see it is 21.6. If you adjust the weight, like if I increase the economy class weight, you'll see it move. And that's pretty much what that is. You'll need to make sure you know the weight in kilograms instead of pounds, so that would involve a bit of conversions, sadly. So what you can do is type in that 0fuel_CG into here. So put in the slash and then whatever it is, let's say it's 26 today, and you can put that in. Now it won't let me do it, so I think it's going to make me demand that I do the whole thing. There we go. So if it doesn't let you, you can type in the whole thing to do that. Is type in that's in kilograms instead of pounds, so that would involve a bit of conversions, sadly. So what you can move. And that's pretty much what that is. You'll need to make sure you know the weight in kilograms instead of pounds, so that would involve a bit of
Flight 048, hold short, runway 8. Traffic is Airbus A320 in on the runway.
of conversions, sadly. So what you can do is type in that 0fuel_CG into here. So put in the slash and then whatever it is, let's say it's 26 today, and you can put that in. Now it won't let me do it, so I think if you know what your CG is, here you can set it to pounds because we always load fuel in weights really. I don't know why it'd be
Oh, I
gallons.
see. So the
And
CG
you
is
can see
just
over
this
here,
percentage.
the Mach. So this is the CG number. So here in this case you can see it is 21.6. If you adjust the weight, like if I increase the economy class weight, you'll see it move. And that's pretty much what that is. You'll need to make sure you know the weight in kilograms instead of pounds, so that would involve a bit of conversions, sadly. So what you can do is type in that 0fuel_CG into here. So put in the slash and then whatever it is, let's say it's 26 today, and you can put that in. Now it won't let me do it, so I think it's going to make me demand that I do the whole thing. There we go. So if it doesn't let you, you can type in the whole thing to do that. Up here, taxi fuel, I'm going to put in 200 kilos, so 0.2, so it knows I'm going to burn that. Now, why it doesn't have a trip fuel?
And I'm just gonna make notes. Basically, I'm just gonna do what this guy does, because he knows what he's talking about, and I sure don't, and I don't think it will actually affect that much.
That I do the whole thing. There we go. So if it doesn't there, you can type in the whole thing to do that. Up here, taxi fuel, I'm going to put in 200 kilos, so 0.2, so it knows I'm going to burn that. Now, why it doesn't have a trip fuel, I don't know. It should calculate how much fuel it thinks that route will take. Same for final reserves. Alternate fuel, I can take.
Just gonna take a look in here, and I actually go to my unit B page. Yep, it does not calculate that. It's like my 0.2 is already in here for taxi. That's kind of cool. And I think my zero fuel weight CG was auto-calculated.
That from my sim brief. So my sim brief reckons the alternate fuel is going to be 1.7 tons. So 1.7. No, it's not taking that either. Ah well. And final reserve fuel, 1.2 typically. There we go, that works. Final reserve fuel. Fuel, or this final time, is the amount of fuel you need to land with. Even if you divert, you still have this much fuel in tanks. So it's about 30 minutes normally,
So that's almost
and that
like
is
the
30 minutes
factor
holding
of
at
safety.
1500 feet above the destination. So in an Airbus, it's typically around 1 to 1.2 tons. Having said that, in a Neo, actually, it could be a bit less. Maybe I should change that to about 0.9. The Neo is obviously burning less fuel. Great. Block fuel would go in here. Now we have 10.6 tons on board. A bit much for that route probably, but there it goes. To get my takeoff weight.
So block is telling you what you need. And I have 10 point. Because I've been sitting here burning fuel. So I didn't actually put this in. Let's do 1.2. Enter it there, so okay. Oh. What? Do you just enter what's on board? 10.3? Is that the idea? No.
Feet above the destination. So in an Airbus, it's typically around 1 to 1.2 tons. Having said that, in a Neo, actually, it could be a bit less. Maybe I should change that to about 0.9. The Neo is obviously burning less fuel. Great. Block fuel would go in here. Now we have 10.6 tons on board. A bit much for that route probably, but there it goes. To get my takeoff weight, now the aircraft should show me this, but we're going to have to calculate it. But that's fine. Zero fuel at 50.2 plus 10, so that's 60.2 plus 0.6, so that's 60.8. So let's just add those two together and put those in. The landing weight, again, it should calculate because it should know how much fuel it's going to burn. I wouldn't have to type that in normally. Trip wind, you can put in a plus or minus.
So it looks like they did upgrade or update this at some point, although it's not right. 50, 60, oh yeah, it is 60 point, no it's not. 50, 60.8 is what it should be. Oops. And landing weight, I don't know. Maybe 50? I don't know. But it won't let you enter it anyway, so looks like it's just kind of stuck there where it is.
I don't know if that works. Let's say it's a headwind of 10 knots, so I put in minus 10. Oh, there we go. It calculates a headwind for the flight. Extra time is showing the extra fuel you've got based on the numbers you've given it. So again, it doesn't seem to be working. Landing weight would be my takeoff weight minus the fuel I'm expecting to burn, which is about 5 tons, plus the taxi fuel, so about 5.2. So let's say it's going to be 55.6.
So
There we go.
yeah, I can't know that stuff.
Okay, so there we go. We've now done the init B page. Like I say, normally.
Unless SimBrief tells you that. Oh. Is this saying... Oh, I think this is totally telling you all that stuff. Zero fuel weight. 62.4. Wow, that's way different from what I had. But that's because... Yeah, okay, so they do have this stuff in here. But this is based on what I entered when I created the briefing. But it is in here. So I can have 6.1 fuel. Why does it say max? Estimated max. It's POSS, possible extra. Okay. This is the amount of fuel to be loaded at the gate. So I'm guessing that's calculated based on the flight. Zero fuel weight. Wow, this must be a really big plane. Ah, 777. Okay, so this is where I can get some of this information at least. So let me go ahead and actually do that. My zero fuel weight is 62.4, even though it's not, because, hold up, my cargo is 0, my payload is 18.6. I can actually change that right here. But there's no kilograms. So 18.6, I can do a conversion. So I'm going for about 41,000 pounds, basically. Just in payload. Okay, so that's that. It's kind of annoying that they don't have a kilograms or pounds toggle. So that's my 18.6, my zero fuel weight is 62.4. So it calculates your CG based on that. Takeoff weight and landing weight appeared to update as well. And it says I need 6.1 in the tanks. Oh no, that's just a readout. If I actually want to change it, I have to go here. So that's 6.1. So that's 13,000 pounds of fuel. 13.4. So right about there, okay. Yeah, and there's my 6.2. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's important to note because basically what that means is I need to decide when I'm filing my flight plan what my actual loads are going to be. So the things I need to do are enter my, so I have my final, and then I had my zero fuel weight, my CG was calculated, my zero fuel weight I entered, right? No, I had to tweak those. So basically that you just have to match your flight plan, excuse me, by tweaking your fuel stuff. There's really no other way to do that.
Normally in the real aircraft you would just type in the zero fuel weight and the CG and the block fuel, and then it should fill the rest on its own, pretty much. But there we go. It's, you know, we do what we can. So that's the init B page done. Finally, P for performance. So let's go to there. Now it's currently set to take off. You can go through the phases using next and previous phase, but obviously we are interested in taking off. So let's go to the takeoff phase, which is the one it will automatically go to.
Okay, now we're on to performance. See if I can get through this quickly.
Because the airplane knows that's the next step. So take off from runway 24, and then it says takeoff shift. Now, it's rare to have to use that these days. You'd only use takeoff shift if you're taking off from an intersection in an aircraft without GPS normally. What happens in the Airbus is when you take off, it updates the position of the aircraft in its mind, and it needs to know where you're taking off from. But when it has GPS, it can simply update the position using the GPS, so it doesn't need this. So for example, if you're taking off not from the full length of the runway,
just kind of curious. It says runway 08. What if I wanted to go 36? Would it let me do that? if I was 1/6 left. So I guess that's populated by... Oh, that's probably populated by the flight plan. That makes sense.
But from maybe 400 meters into it, it's in meters, you'd put in 400 into there. And there you go, it doesn't even work. Don't know why I talked about it. Flaps, trimmable, horizontal stabilizer. So for this one, and this is a bit different, we're going to put in the flaps we want for takeoff. So for today, I think I want to take off flap 1. So
yeah, so flaps would probably be pretty important. This defaulted the flaps 1. I'm thinking that's probably normally what I'm going to do. Flaps 1. Flight plan 1 or 2 words? It's 1 word.
So put in flap 1. THS is trimmable horizontal stabilizer, and I'm not going to put a setting in there. Most airlines don't. It is rare to. You can, and it's based on your performance calculations and your CG, which we don't have a way of really showing here in this flight simulator right now. So I'm going to leave it blank, which is what you would do in most airlines. Flex to temperature. Now this is a number where you will tell the aircraft to derate the engines on takeoff. We don't take off using maximum thrust normally in the Airbus. You typically can lower the performance of the engines a bit. It saves fuel, it saves noise, and it saves the engine's life, so they'll last longer. So obviously it's a good thing to do. The basic principle is the higher the temperature in here, the less the less thrust it will use on takeoff. So it does have a maximum and a minimum, and that depends on the aircraft and the engines you're using. So for today, a high flex would typically be a temperature of 69, which would be using the maximum amount of flex that the aircraft can give. It depends on your sea level, and it depends on the elevation of the airport and the temperature on the day, and if you have performance issues. So if you're taking off on a short runway, you can use a lower number. Maybe we'll put it down to say 50. If it's really short, maybe we'll use more flaps. So we can take off flap 2, and you can even take off flaps 3 in the Airbus. You normally take off flaps 3 on a short runway, but the problem is when you're in the air, you've got more drag. So if it's a long runway, we prefer flaps 1. If it's a long runway with an obstacle in front, then definitely flaps 1. And you've got flaps 2 as well. I mean,
I almost feel like the flight plan should
normally airlines will have a performance tool for doing this. What's interesting about the Microsoft Flight Simulator Airbus is it doesn't seem to change these numbers until you actually change the flap lever position. There we go. So I'm going to put that to 1, which will be typical for a long runway like Amsterdam. 50 degrees flex, so we're going to use a fair bit of thrust. Engine out acceleration, so if an engine fails, when do you want the airplane to accelerate? 1680. That's absolutely fine. It's about 1,500 feet above the runway. Slightly more actually, because we're in Amsterdam, which is slightly below sea level. Thrust reduction acceleration, it says 1,500/nothing, long runway like Amsterdam. 50 degrees flex, so we're going to use a fair bit of thrust. Engine out acceleration, so if an engine fails, when do you want the airplane to accelerate? 1680. That's absolutely fine. It's about 1,500 feet above the runway. Slightly more actually, because we're in Amsterdam, which is slightly below sea level.
Okay, so basically enter flaps position. Um,
Thrust reduction acceleration, it says 1500 slash nothing. So let's put in slash 1500. And that's quite normal. So the airplane will climb in its normal takeoff modes up until 1500 feet, and then it will lower the nose and try and accelerate. It should climb somewhere around V2 plus 10 up to that point. Now we do know that there are some glitches in the Airbus in Flight Simulator, so some of this stuff does not work like I'm describing, so don't be alarmed if the simulator
Yeah, so just taking some notes. Basically, I'm just going to copy his 50-degree flex 2 temp and just stick with the 1500 above the runway elevation for the engine out acceleration.
that happens to you. It's not your setup usually. There are some things about it that are not quite coded quite right, I don't think. It needs a little bit of work, the takeoff phase certainly. But there we go, so that's normally adjusts to the elevation automatically. So if I was in Geneva with about a 1500 feet elevation, that would say 3000, 3000. Now again, in Flight Simulator, it doesn't do that. So you need to work this out based on where your current altitude is. So you can look that up here. I'm currently at 0, assuming you've got the correct QNH set, which I have today, which is at 29902 or 1013, and it's at 0 feet. So as long as your QNH is set correctly on there, which you can get from air traffic control, you'll be able to then enter the altitude into here that you need to be. So 1500 is good for today. And the V speeds are here. V1, that's the speed where we have to continue the takeoff once we go through that. VR is when we're going to rotate the aircraft, and V2 is the speed at which we'll climb away. Even if we have an engine failure, we'll climb at V2 using our takeoff thrust. Once you've done all that, you'll end up with the flight deck looking something like this. And now what you need to...
Whoops.
And now... much. But there we go. Out acceleration, so if an engine fails, when do you want the airplane? It needs a little bit of work. Then enter the altitude, set this to HBA because that's what you use in Europe. And it's the speed at which we'll climb away. Even if we have an engine failure, we'll climb at V2 using our takeoff thrust.
Just wanted to review my V numbers
So as long as your QNH is set correctly on there, which you can get from air traffic control, you'll be able to then enter the altitude into here that you need to be. So 1500 is good for today. And the V speeds are here. V1, that's the speed where we have to continue the takeoff once we go through that. VR is when we're going to rotate the aircraft, and V2 is the speed at which we'll climb away. Even if we have an engine failure, we'll climb at V2 using our takeoff thrust. Once you've done all that, you'll end up with the flight deck looking something like this. And now what you need to do is just check we have done what we think we've done. So I'm going to just set this to HBA because that's what you use in Europe, and it's 1013 today, which is fine. Look at your PFD and check you've got the right modes. So climb blue and nav blue. By being written in blue, it's telling me it's armed, so it's ready in the background. So that is correct. I'm also going to turn on the flight directors, so they are on both sides, so we have one FT2. So that is the guidance that will come alive. It doesn't normally show up now, it will show up when we get into the takeoff.
I'm not exactly sure what he meant. V2 is climb away speed, but if you're already above V1, which is your takeoff speed, then what is your other option? I don't know.
We can also see 128 up there in magenta, which is our V2 speed, and that is correct. That would show up there in magenta. What doesn't show is the numbers below it, which sometimes, or they will show up normally as you're taxiing out, but they don't in Flight Simulator. But there we go. Lever MCT, that is a warning message. Normally that appears when the Airbus wants us to do something. So I just moved the thrust levers there to try and clear it, but it shouldn't be there now. I don't know why it is, but there it is. So you can disregard that because we don't want MCT, we want idle when full when we start the engines. So now we've got some guidance, we've got a route. I can set this back to arc. That's probably where most people would have it for takeoff. I can see, oh look, I can see other airplanes. That's pretty good. And I can see my route and the constraints that we want to meet. And you might want to increase the range so you can see where you're going. You might have terrain on if there's terrain around. Other than that, that is setting up the MCDU. So we've loaded in the performance, we've got a flight plan in there now, and we've given it some weights and so on. That's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. There will be more videos where we cover some of the other pages that are modelled in the MCDU in this Airbus, as well as looking at other aspects of the flight, the takeoffs, the landings, the initial setup from cold and dark and that sort of thing. So do subscribe if you'd like to see more of that content. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in a video very soon. Thank you very much.
Alright, so that's going to be it for me tonight. I do want to look at his cold and dark video, because I could add that here as the, you know, previous, or basically right after pre-flight, or maybe that is part of pre-flight. But yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool to learn how to start the plane up. I mean, I can follow the instructions within, or like the checklist within Flight Sim, but it'd be cool to be able to do it without following that. And just for kicks, I'm just going to go ahead and take off and start flying, but then I will be calling it a night. %, throttle until they stabilize, parking brake off, and full throttle. And yes, I do see the plane on the runway. Starting to get a little nervous. This runway is a little short. If I'm headed for 161, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Yikes. There's V1. And rotate. And I'm climbing away. And I know you're supposed to hit about a 15-degree incline. I've never really gotten the knack for getting onto your flight plan to a point where you can activate the autopilot without it jerking everything around. That's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. Using the flight director.
Airbus 649,
Case
you
that
were
was not
leaving my
clear.
airspace. Frequency change approved.
That was
Denver
pretty
Tower, Airbus
close.
November 75649, or frequency change. Denver approach Airbus November
Manage
75649, or as type Airbus A320.
Forgot to turn on my
miles east
seatbelt
of 0
sight
Charlie Oscar
sign.
37,800 feet. Request Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace. Airbus November 75649er.
Don't need landing lights.
Squawk 2452. Squawk 2452 Airbus 649er. Airbus 649er radar contact 4 miles southeast of Charlie Oscar 56, 7,300 feet. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
I don't know why it thinks I need to be so low. I'm not sure what happened there.
Cleared through the Bravo airspace Airbus 649er.
Landing lights off, nose light off, don't need logo, everything else is fine. Everything is configured. I did almost crash there. I really don't know why my plane got so low. I guess I put it into managed altitude mode, but it's like it thought that was in the ground or something, so not sure what the deal is there. So that's it. That's really all I can do tonight. Go up into the mountains and pop over to Salt Lake. This would be a great flight, but it's going to take time, and especially if it takes me this long just to set up the MCDU.
Airbus 649er contact Denver approach on 126.55. 126.55 for Airbus 649er. Descend and maintain 10,000
approach
feet.
Airbus
Skywest
November 75649er 8,700 feet.
Airbus November 75649er Denver approach. Continue to check as planned. Altimeter tree 0.25.
So at Chicken I was supposed to have 14,000, so I can punch that in and begin the climb. I guess if I go to manage, maybe it's working now. Let me see if I get up to, if that bumps up to 16,000 once I'm past Chicken. And there, I got above 10,000 feet, so my speed jumped up to 320.
134.85 Airbus 649er.
Which also means I need to switch to standard pressure.
Denver approach Airbus November 75649er 10,400 feet.
Airbus November 75649er Denver approach. Continue to check this planned. Altimeter tree 0.26.
I don't know why they give you altimeter so much. Like, 1200 is the altimeter max, so it's not useful information anymore. Farm to chicken, or chicken to farm. So now it's switched over to farm. I don't understand why it's not bringing me up to 16,000 though. I guess that's just something I have to do manually. Let me just see if it actually levels off at 14. And then I really will call it a night.
Airbus 649er, you're leaving my airspace. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved Airbus 649er.
Yeah, so it's gonna level me off. Engage managed
Center,
altitude
Airbus
mode.
November 75649er is type Airbus A320 and 6 miles southeast of 11 Victor. Request flight following.
Airbus November 75649er Denver Center. Squawk 4333.
Denver Center, SkyWest 518, 19,900
Yeah, it
feet.
just won't. I don't know. I really don't understand why that's not working.
181 Denver Center. Continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.16.
Squawk 4333 Airbus 649er.
Airbus 649er radar contact 2 miles south of 11 Victor 14,100 feet. Altimeter tree 0.16.
Copy Airbus 649er.
Don't know. Another thing I guess I'll look into sometime. Alright, well, like I said, that is where I'm calling it a night. Can't finish the flight, so might as well just call it there. As always, if you watched, I hope you enjoyed. And
Airbus November 75649er, Denver.
whether or not you enjoyed, I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Altimeter tree 0.16. Airbus 649er, contact Denver Center on 125.905.
125.905 for Airbus 649er.